Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Together, these 5 nations form the BRICS alliance, a growing economic and political group with the goal of challenging the West's long-standing dominance. Can these emerging economies truly alter the worldwide balance of power? What exactly is BRICS, and what are its ambitions? As the West grapples with internal division, BRICS is expanding its influence, forging new partnerships, and asserting its presence on the global stage. Let's look deeper at the alliance and what its rise could mean for the world. BRICS is an economic and political alliance first theorized by economist Jim O'Neill in 2001. It initially included Brazil, Russia, India, and China, nations identified as emerging economies with the potential to reshape the global landscape. South Africa joined in 2010, completing the bloc as we know it today. Together, these countries account for over 40% of the world's population and nearly a quarter of global GDP. In 2023, BRICS announced its most significant expansion yet, inviting Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to join in 2024. This strategic expansion reflects BRICS' ambition for growth and signifies its determination to increase global influence by including energy-rich and geopolitically critical nations. With even more countries like Turkey interested in joining, BRICS is rising. At its core, BRICS seeks to promote economic cooperation and political coordination among its members. On a broader scale, the group's objective is to push for a multipolar world order, one where global influence is more evenly distributed rather than concentrated in the hands of Western powers. The formation of the New Development Bank, an institution meant to rival Western-dominated entities, illustrates BRICS' goal of fostering South-to-South collaboration and reducing reliance on Western financial systems. As the alliance expanded, its goals also evolved. BRICS members increasingly focus on reshaping global governance structures, establishing alternatives to US-led institutions, and promoting trade through local currencies. Although a shared BRICS currency remains aspirational and faces significant challenges, the intention to reduce reliance on the US dollar and Western systems is clear. Since the end of World War II, the United States has emerged as a dominant force in global politics and economics, shaping the post-war world order through a combination of military, economic, and diplomatic tools. Military alliances, such as NATO, have further solidified U.S. influence, providing security guarantees to its allies and enabling the projection of American power across the globe. At the heart of this dominance is the US dollar, which has become the primary reserve currency, facilitating international trade, investments, and lending. The widespread use of the dollar in global transactions has given the US a unique advantage, allowing it to exert considerable control over international financial markets and impose sanctions that have significant economic consequences for other nations. BRICS confidently opposes the unipolar system, advocating for a multipolar world where diverse countries share influence and decision-making. As the world's second largest economy, China plays a dominant role within BRICS. Its Belt and Road Initiative is reshaping global trade by building infrastructure across Asia, Europe, Africa, and even reaching Latin America. Launched in 2013, the BRI is an ambitious multi-trillion-dollar project aimed at reviving ancient trade routes, linking China to over 140 countries through railways, ports, highways, and energy pipelines. Through the BRI, China has created a vast network of trade partners, securing access to key resources, boosting exports, and expanding its political and economic influence globally. The BRI's impact extends beyond just trade. It enables China to provide critical infrastructure support to developing nations that the US and other countries have often overlooked. By financing and constructing these projects, China enhances its soft power and fosters economic development in regions that face significant investment gaps. This strategic outreach helps China strengthen its role as a global leader. Additionally, the inclusion of energy-rich nations like Saudi Arabia and the UAE into BRICS further amplifies China's influence, particularly within the energy sector. These partnerships secure vital resources for China while establishing a more diversified and cooperative global economic landscape. Additionally, China's push for trade in local currencies among BRICS nations weakens reliance on the US dollar, positioning China at the forefront of a potential new economic order. Russia views BRICS as a crucial lifeline to bypass Western sanctions and avoid isolation. Amid rising tensions with the West, particularly due to the war in Ukraine, Russia has strengthened its relationship with China and other BRICS nations to build alternative economic and political pathways. By participating in BRICS, Russia aims to reassert its global presence and lessen the impact of its sanctions by trading outside traditional channels. The expansion of BRICS has led other nations to consider membership. Countries like Indonesia, Mexico, Nigeria, and Turkey have expressed interest, highlighting BRICS' growing appeal as a counterweight to Western institutions. However, while expansion signals strength, it also introduces some concerns. Internal divisions within BRICS present significant challenges to the alliance's cohesion and effectiveness. The most prominent example is the long-standing border dispute between India and China, which has flared up multiple times, most recently in the Galwan Valley skirmishes of 2020. These tensions are not just limited to territorial disagreements, they also extend to broader geopolitical strategies as both nations vie for regional influence in Asia. India, for instance, has grown closer to Western powers, particularly the United States, through the Quad Alliance, a strategic group that includes Australia and Japan, primarily aimed at countering China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific region. Beyond the India-China dynamic, BRICS members also take differing stances on key global issues. For instance, while China and Russia have historically supported Palestine in international forums, India has forged increasingly close ties with Israel, particularly in areas of defense and technology. The ongoing war in Ukraine has further strained relations with the alliance. China has diplomatically backed Russia, refraining from outright condemnation of its actions and even expanding economic ties amidst Western sanctions. Moreover, South Africa has its own set of priorities, which often diverge from the others. While it shares BRICS' broader goal of challenging Western dominance and promoting a more equitable global order, South Africa's regional focus on African development and its historical ties to Western institutions like the Commonwealth sometimes pull it in different directions. These internal divisions, coupled with varying political and economic systems, mean that while BRICS has the potential to disrupt the global balance of power, its effectiveness in doing so will depend on how well these nations can reconcile their differences and find common ground. As BRICS expands, its potential to challenge Western hegemony grows. Including new members from the Middle East and Africa enhances its global influence, offering a credible alternative to the Western-dominated order. However, internal divisions and competing interests may prevent BRICS from acting as an entirely cohesive bloc. Nevertheless, the group's evolution is reshaping global politics and economics, signaling a shift towards a more multipolar world.